All right. What up, world? It is your girl, CB. We are back with a new episode of our podcast, Lions 411. 411 Lions. So you will obviously know that I am solo today. My brother was too upset to go on camera and talk about the Lions game. I'm just playing. My brother is actually on a cruise, I believe, to Jamaica somewhere. So yeah, he's on the cruise. Hopefully he is doing well. Obviously, they have warm weather in Miami, in the Bahamas, wherever he at. I'm sure they got warm weather. We are what 8, 9 degrees, so I envy him right now. Um, let's get into the game. So Detroit took on the Commanders. Obviously this podcast, this episode, it's not exactly a celebration, obviously, but it's a celebration in different ways, and we'll get into that. So the Lions took on the Washington Commanders at Ford Field Saturday night. It is now Monday evening, so gave it a couple days to think about it, ask some people what they thought, things of that nature. But unfortunately, we fell to the Washington Commanders 45-31. We played at Ford Field. There were over 65,000 screaming fans. We obviously won the NFC North. We did go 15-2. We did have the first round bye, so it was our first time playing since we played Minnesota the last game. We won that game. They didn't even score a touchdown, but back to this game. Unfortunately, we didn't get the outcome that we wanted, but we're going to talk about it. So Washington scores 45. We score 31. We lose. Jared Goff went 23 of 40, 313 in yards. He had one passing touchdown to Sam Laporta. He had 3 interceptions and a fumble. On the running back side, we got Jahmyr Gibbs. He had 14 carries for 105, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good game. J-Mo did have a running touchdown. I believe he ran about 60-something yards on that reverse. We got Laporta, 6 receptions, 51 yards. He did have that touchdown, that one-handed touchdown. That was sweet, by the way. Shout out Sam Laporta. Monty, he had the David Montgomery. Let's see. He had the 7 carries, 28 yards. So when we look at everything on paper, and J-Mo had a interception, which we'll get into. So when we look at everything on paper, everybody had a pretty good game, obviously, except for our quarterback, Jared Goff. So he went 23 of 40. He had a fumble. He had 3 interceptions. Obviously, with the turnovers in the playoffs, man, you gonna pay, and you ain't gonna pay regular, or you gonna pay double. And that's what we did. Pretty much every turnover that Detroit had, Washington went down the field, got points off of it. So it's like, what can you do? What can you do? What can you say? With Jared Goff and the turnovers, I was a little surprised that it came at that time. Obviously, he had the 5 interceptions with the Houston Texans game, but when I was watching the game and I was seeing the first 2, I'm still thinking in my head, okay, we still in the game. He threw 5 interceptions in Houston, and we still won. We still rallied back. So I was in that mind frame. I'll be honest. I was in that mind frame. People were texting me like, oh my God, turnovers happening. He fumbled. He threw an interception. What's going on? He about to lose this game. And I was texting him, hey, just hold on. Just chill. Just man, just chill. Like, we got this. Jared Goff we threw 5 interceptions the Houston Texans game, and Jake Bates won it for a field goal. Let's just calm down. We were still in it. We were still in it most of the game, but that fourth quarter where Jameson Williams interception came, it was 1st and 10, fourth quarter, 12 minutes left, about 12:08 left. 1st and 10 again. We were marching down the field. The offense was doing pretty good. We were marching down the field. Washington was letting us get our first downs, things of that nature. I'm thinking, okay, we just need a touchdown. It's 12 minutes left. It's 38-28. We down by 10. So when they snap the play, I'm automatically thinking, okay, things are going on in the backfield. J-Mo has the ball. So I thought it was another reverse because J-Mo had the when they did the reverse to J-Mo and he ran it in a touchdown. But J-Mo kept the ball. And I was thinking, okay, this is interesting. So J-Mo tried to throw the ball, and unfortunately, he threw an interception. So let's get into the mistakes of what we thought went wrong. I would say what I thought went wrong, obviously, were the turnovers. I would also say that call, the Jamison Williams interception. It was the fourth quarter, 1st and 10. We were marching down the field. We down by 10. We got 28. Washington has 38. 1st and 10, why are we doing a trick play in the fourth quarter? It's the playoffs. I can see if we were up, by 20. But I don't know why you would count on J-Mo to complete a pass. He's not a wide receiver. I don't think he's ever thrown a pass in his career. I'm sure this was practice, and people I talked to were saying, "Oh, well, he should have took a sack or he should just threw it out of bounds." I understand all that, but why did we make that play call? I don't agree with Ben Johnson, our offensive coordinator, making that call. I don't know why we made that call. Sometimes I just feel that sometimes we out scheme ourselves, we outsmart ourselves, and we get a little stubborn in big moments. Even with the defense, with all the blitzing, I didn't necessarily agree with all the blitzing. I think after halftime, I wanted to see some adjustments. I didn't really see much, but I wanted to see some adjustments. So we'll start with mistakes. Mistake number 1. Obviously, Jared Goff fumbling and throwing 3 interceptions. I mean, come on now, it's turnovers. Other team, you can't give Jaden Daniels the ball and a short field. I mean, this kid is a rookie. The way he's playing, the way he marched his team to the playoffs. Last year, before Jaden Daniels was drafted, they went, 3-12 or 3-13, 4-12, something like that. This year, offensive led team, coaching staff, Dan Quinn, Kingsbury, you got Daniels. They lead the team to 12-5. This is a rookie. So, mistake number 1, obviously the Jared Goff turnovers. Mistake number 2, obviously, can we do much with the defense? Things of that nature. I know we had injuries, and I'm not trying to make, excuses. Oh, well, we were injured and this and that. I gotta go with who we got on the field. I gotta go with what I'm seeing. We didn't get any sacks. We did pressure him a couple times, but Jane Daniels, at times, he did have a lot of time to throw. He did. The corners, I know Meek Robinson, he went out around that first quarter, I want to say. He went out with that broken arm. So that kind of, I'm like, ooh, I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it. He went out. So that kind of took a little bit of air out of the Lions, I feel. I think we should have made some adjustments after halftime. McLaurin and Brown got some. Let's check out the receivers for the Washington Commanders. Brown, 98 yards, 6 receptions. We had Terry McLaurin, 4 receptions, 87 yards, and 1 touchdown. Unfortunately, Kirby Joseph could not run him down. He did get that touchdown. Zach Ertz, 28 yards, but he did get that touchdown. So I would say mistake number 2, maybe we could have made some type of zone defense. I think we should have played more zone, maybe not as much blitzing. I know we were worried about Jaden Daniels getting that step on us and running. But I don't know about all the blitzing I saw. I think we should have played more so in zone, but that's just me. Mistake number 3, obviously the JMO interception. I mean, the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, calling that play. I don't know why we decided to do a trick play on 1st and 10. I don't know why. I was expecting Gibbs to get the ball. I was expecting a run. That's what I was expecting. But then when the ball was snapped, I see JMO in the backfield. He got his hands on the ball. I'm like, okay, what we doing? This is some type of trick. What we doing? Where's this going? So he throws the interception. So I'm going to go with that mistake. Also, I'll be honest. I think, in my opinion, that the Lions fans wanted to see at Ford Field, at our home territory, they wanted to see a Jahmyr Gibbs and a David Montgomery reunion. And I think that our coaching staff wanted to give the fans that reunion. I think that that was a mistake. I don't think we should have played Montgomery yet. He was coming off of the MCL. Not saying that he didn't look good, not saying that he looked bad, but in my opinion, we should have stuck with the run. We got 2 premier running backs. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, before the Washington Commanders game, when we played Minnesota, got you 4 touchdowns. I don't know why we stopped giving the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs. He ended, let's see, what did he end with? 14 carries, 105, 2 TDs. Washington couldn't stop him. I mean, even the breakout run that he had, Washington had a hard time stopping Jahmyr Gibbs. Why fix what wasn't broken? I didn't feel that that was broken. I don't know why we decided to fix it. I feel that that offensive scheme, that offensive game plan, I don't know if we came into the game just thinking, okay, well, we're going to have Jared Goff attempt 40 passes, or did they switch up? I don't know what the case may be. But in my opinion, Jahmyr Gibbs, over 1,000 yards, that is 4.3 speed. He ran a 4.3 in the draft. 1,000-yard rusher, can catch out of the backfield, can catch a go route, can catch a screen pass. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs was unstoppable in the Minnesota game. He was unstoppable. Minnesota couldn't stop him, and Washington could not stop him. I don't understand why we abandoned the run. So let's take a look at the run versus how many pass attempts. So Jared Goff attempted 40 passes. He completed 23. Jahmyr Gibbs had 14 carries. Monty had 7. So your 2-star running backs, that's 21 attempts right there. Your quarterback got 40 pass attempts. In my opinion, it should be reversed. It should have been reversed. I think Jahmyr should have had, I say about 22, 23 carries. Monty, about 8 or 9. And then let Goff do his thing. I feel we should not have abandoned the run game. I feel that the run game is what got us here 15-2 in the first place. Washington, especially in the first half, could not stop Jahmyr Gibbs. They could not stop that man. That man is quick. He's explosive. good vision, good reads. He could get you that touchdown, especially on that outside. If Jahmyr Gibbs get that first step on you, oh, he gone. It's a track down game at this point. You looking behind and you trying to track him down. But he done already gained 15, 20, 30 yards at this point. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is him and J-Mo fastest people on the team. Like, that's the only person I see on the lines that could keep up with Jahmyr Gibbs' speed is J-Mo. Jameson Williams. So I don't know why we decided to abandon the run game. But if we were going to abandon the run game, I do agree with St. Brown getting his targets. Porter got 51 yards, 6 receptions. I would have liked to see St. Brown targeted a little more. But I just the offensive scheme, it just it wasn't hitting for me. So that's mistake number 4. Obviously, the other mistake they made with the 12 men on the field. Now, Lions coaching staff. We are in a competitive playoff game. We are making a run for the Super Bowl. We are at Ford Field and we are home. There are over 65,000 fans screaming. Do you think that Detroit Lions, our player, heard you trying to shoot him off the field, like get off the field? Do you think that he can hear you? No. We should have called a timeout. I don't know why we didn't call the timeout, but we didn't call it. So refs threw a penalty and Washington was at the half-yard line, the 1-yard line, whatever the case may be. And Washington obviously easily scored. Now, would Washington have scored before the penalty? I believe, what was it? 4-2. I believe it was 4th down. We got the penalty called against us for that 12 man on the field. I just felt that it was easy mistakes that got us beat. I think that when we look back on the season, we had a hell of a season. Obviously, we went 15-2. I mean, that's a franchise record. We'll talk about that momentarily. Let's see what Jaden Daniels has done to the Lions. I mean, Jaden Daniels, 24 years old, rookie out of LSU, second pick behind who was it? Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. I mean, the kid is unbelievable. The kid is sensational. He can throw it. He can run. He got the Washington Commanders. They ain't won nothing in what, 30, 40 years? 40 years. He got them 12-5. Jaden Daniels marched to Tampa Bay, beat Tampa Bay last week. Beat Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield. Sorry, I said Jake. Baker Mayfield on his turf. He beat Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He marches up here. Doesn't throw not one interception. Doesn't even get sacked. Detroit Lions did not sack that man once. Doesn't throw an interception. He doesn't fumble. Daniels, what I've seen so far in this playoff run that he has had, that young man, is committed to mistake-free football. What did Jared Goff do? He played mistake-ridden football. But back to Jaden Daniels. He was 22 of 31. Okay, pretty good. 299 yards, 2 TDs, 0 interceptions. Our quarterback, Jared Goff, 23-40, 313, 1 touchdown, 1 fumble, 3 interceptions, 4 turnovers. Mistake-ridden football. Total plays. Washington had 73 plays. We had 68. But we had mistake-ridden football. Washington, mistake-free football. Had we not had those interceptions and those fumbles, things of that nature, we would have had more plays than Washington, for sure. We wouldn't only have 68 plays to their 73. We would have more plays, but I move on. So, but Jaden Daniels, that kid, he a star in the making. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I got to give my hats off to him. I know he came in our house and he beat us mistake-free football. He didn't get sacked. He didn't throw an interception. He didn't fumble. He was so calm. He looked like a veteran. He looked like a veteran. He didn't look like a rookie. He looked like he'd been here before. He he was cruising right along. I liked Washington's offensive scheme. I liked Washington's play calls. And I liked Jaden Daniels' decisions. His decisions is what won Washington that game. Their coaching is what won Washington their game. I think the Lions, and people ask me, do you think the Lions Super Bowl window has closed? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's where we move on to this video of the celebratory part. Detroit Lions turned from, oh, they won't make the playoffs, they'll always finish last in the division, they're the laughing stock, to we're making the playoffs, we got fans excited, we are stretching one more week. Now, would I have liked to see us play next week, one more week? Of course. Would I have liked to see us make the Super Bowl? I kind of honestly thought we were going this year. I thought we were going to NFC Championship, I'll be honest. I mean, but the chips fell where they fell. I'm not going to hop off Detroit's bandwagon. I'm not mad at Detroit. I just hope that with our coaching in big moments, we don't get stubborn and we don't forget what got us here. I feel that the run game got us here. I felt that we got away from the run game. Despite the turnovers, I still felt like we had a chance to come back. I still feel like we had a chance to come back. But with the JMO interception in the fourth quarter, it kind of took some air out of me. But nevertheless, I do want to thank the Detroit Lions for a hell of a season. I mean, we went 15-2. We broke all type of records. We got fans lying in the streets. We got a Amaranth St. Brown cake in what's that city? Rochester, at the Home Bakery. Shout out to them. I did actually get a picture with the Amaranth St. Brown cake. We got the fans excited. Ticket prices is it's now high as hell. I mean, we're in primetime slots. We planned Monday nights. We last when we played the Washington Commanders, we were Saturday at that 8 p.m. slot. I mean, we really turned it around. And I do have to thank Dan Campbell and that coaching staff for turning it around. Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. I know people are mad and, oh, well, we lost. And, you know, we place blame at certain players' feet. And if they wouldn't have called this, if they wouldn't have called that, maybe it is true. But I named the mistakes that I felt that were the biggest mistakes. I think if we didn't have those mistakes, I still feel like we win this game. People also say, oh, well, Detroit got too cocky, they got too excited, they got too hyped up. I don't think so. I don't think so. And let me tell you why. I think when a lot of those players that were drafted to the Detroit Lions before we started winning, I'm sure they thought in their head, like, dang, I'm going to Detroit, it's the laughing stock, things of that nature. But then things got turned around and those players got excited. And when those players got excited, the fan base got excited. I mean, SportsCenter only talk about a couple football teams. I mean, we've been getting mentioned on SportsCenter. I mean, we have some of the highest viewed games this season. 15-2. We won out of division. We stomped Minnesota Vikings. They didn't even score a touchdown. So we got things to be proud of. Do we have things to work on? Yes, of course we do. We know we got things to work on. We know we got players that need to come back. We know we gonna run this thing back next year. Hell, I'll be here. I'll be here on this podcast talking mess. I mean, we're gonna continue our podcast all through the off season, by the way. But I'm here to also celebrate Detroit Lions. I'm not here to bash them and get mad and oh this and oh that. Listen, this our team. It's all grit and we riding with them. Win, lose, tie. Hell, we riding with the Detroit Lions. We got love for you. I still got on my jersey right now as I'm doing this podcast. I got love for you. Did I want to see us make the Super Bowl? Of course. But the chips fail where they fail. I do congratulate Jaden Daniels. I mean, they had him ruled out this game. They had him counted out this game. They said that he will lose to the Lions. The Lions were almost a double-digit favorite. And to be upset the way that we were, I mean, we lost by what? 14? We were favored, I believe, by 8 points, and we lost by 14. One of the biggest upsets in a couple years, I would say. One of the biggest upsets. So I'm rooting for Jaden Daniels. Go out and win it all. Win that thing. Go out and win it all. I mean, that kid played sensational. Like I said, mistake-free football in the playoffs. It'll get you one. You complete all these mistakes. You do all these mistakes in the playoffs, these turnovers, these fumbles. You gonna pay, but you not paying with regular money. Oh baby, you paying double. And that's what we did. We paid double for the mistakes that we committed. Jaden Daniels, no mistakes. He didn't have to rally his team from behind. They didn't start from a huge deficit. They didn't go down by 14, 10 points. They were right where they needed to be. Our defense, we allowed 45 points. We got to look at ourselves. How we do that? How we do that? Our offense. We only scored 31 today, 45. We got to look at ourselves. How we do that? You know, so there are things that we got to work on, but hey, I'm still celebrating us though. We had a beautiful season, 15-2. We had a beautiful season. We did win the division. We are the NFC North champions. But it's the playoffs and what they say, you got one game to get it right. This not a series. This not basketball. You don't get 7 games. You got one game to get it right. And any given Sunday. In our case, any given Saturday. And unfortunately, we got outdueled on our home turf. But we will be back with another episode in a couple of days. We're going to talk about some players that'll be on free agency, some coaching changes, things of that nature. So yeah, we will be back next week, but you can listen to our podcast on Spotify at 411 Lions. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts on 411 Lions. You can follow us on TikTok. I don't know if it's still banned, whatever the case may. I don't know, but they're gonna have to sort that out, government. 411 Lions on TikTok. You can follow me on Instagram at CB Love That For Ya. My brother will be back for the rest of the episodes. That is me signing off. I love you, Detroit. Thank you for being 15-2. Peace.